What's the dumbest thing you've ever done because your brain was on autopilot? I normally only see my neighbor when I arrive home from walking my dogs, so I'm holding the dogs on leashes as I greet the old guy next door most times and have to tell the dogs to come along. One day I dropped the dogs off inside my place and headed out to bring the bins in after collection. See the neighbor and exchange greetings as per usual. As we finish I turn to the bin and say back quote, "Come on, let's go." Shaved off an eyebrow. Was shaving my chin etc and my eyebrow got itchy, so I scratched it with the razor. I did the same dumbest mistake, except on my nose. I cut myself, but luckily it wasn't deep. Just made me feel stupid. I wiped a razor off with my finger once. 4 parallel cuts that bled for beeping ever. Edit, silver and most upvoted comment about how much of a dumbass I am. Feels like I'm finally part of the family, Reddit. I had made a tea with ginger chunks, but found the ginger to be too strong, and I wanted them to go, so I grabbed a strainer and proceeded to pour out my tea in the sink with the ginger chunks in the strainer. Took me a second to realize what I've done. Came home with a friend. Started undressing as soon as I closed the door. I've done something similar. I went to take a leak and, just like I would when I'm alone, didn't bother to close the door. I'm standing there still talking to them and then realize, wait, I'm not alone. My buddy does this. Answers the door stark beep naked. Come on in, man. I'll pop the kettle on. Just gonna take a beep here. Proceeds to sit down on the toilet, so how's life? I mean, this is how I'm with my wife, but definitely not my friends, lol. Started a new job, got to my old workplace before I realized what I'd done. Tried opening my front door with my car key unlock button. Just today I locked my phone to lock my car. I drove to work one morning, promptly forgot, and then took the bus home, leaving my car in the parking lot. I did this with my bike and didn't realize for over a week. Did this with my bike too, and it got stolen. He left you, like you did. Just recently I was talking to my friend and got on a topic about something that I had been looking up on my phone. Started to search for my phone so I could send him the link. I couldn't find it anywhere. I was talking to him while walking from room to room, looking everywhere, checking my pants pockets, looking in the weird random places I've left it before. Eventually I told him I'd send it to him when I found my phone. He reminded me that I was talking to him on my phone. Once I was sick and not thinking too well. A package delivery person rang the doorbell. Me, not thinking, got up from the couch, walked up to the door, and knocked on it. Then I opened the door to a mildly confused delivery man and took the package. It wasn't until I had closed the door, box in hand, that I realized my error. I work in healthcare, so I knock before entering a patient room. I can't even count the number of times I have opened the door to a confused waiting room of people after knocking on the waiting room door. Yeah, but it's always the knock and immediately open. I'll make a terrible parent one day, Timmy. I'm respecting your privacy by knocking, but asserting my authority as your father by coming in anyway. Not me, but my husband called me from work BC he forgot to put a shirt on before leaving, and could I bring him one, please? There he was, just wearing a jacket. Evidently he tossed it on to go start the car in the cold and never took it off. Eater, runner up goes to the time my daughter went to school and forgot to put on underwear in 2nd grade. Yeah, of course she was wearing a skirt. We live 30 minutes from school and she realized it just as we pulled into the parking lot, and I marched her into the nurse, who grabbed out an emergency stash of granny briefs labeled with the school's name on them in big black Sharpie. She's 18 now and still mortified when we bring it up. Had to stop a boyfriend once from leaving without pants on. He had put boots, jacket, hat and gloves on. Recently I was trying to microwave some popcorn, and instead of putting the popcorn packet in the microwave I put in the plastic wrap and proceeded to press start. I did not realize what I had done wrong until I looked down at the popcorn packet and thought, something's not right here. 2 and 2 got put together before anything nasty or disastrous happened, thankfully. When I was a truck driver, I drove 200 miles down the wrong freeway and had to turn around and drive 200 miles back. I never told my dispatcher and he never caught it. I did that once. Unfortunately, I had to tell my dispatcher of my mistake as it threw off the rest of my loads for that day and made it impossible to do them, and the one I had was going to be late. Then a couple weeks later I missed the backhaul message and it rated back empty. I felt like an idiot and he treated me like on for a bit too. Scanned a customer's groceries, removed the dividing bar from my register, began scanning the next customer's groceries. I once spent too long trying to find the barcode on the dividing bar while scanning. Customer let me figure it out on my own. LMAO, this is a good one. Couple times a year I'll say love you to a business colleague when ending a phone call. My wife gets a kick out of that. I work front desk at a hotel. The daytime staff work either 7 AM to 3 PM or 3 PM to 11 PM. Sometimes when I'm working the PM shift I'll accidentally say night night instead of goodbye when I go to hang up the phone. It's an uncomfortably intimate thing to accidentally say to a stranger on the phone. It's even worse if I know the guest was in a different time zone, so it's not even nighttime where they are. Used my phone flashlight to find my phone. My nephew has one of those big iPads and takes notes with a stylus. If you tap the stylus, it undoes the last writing. Now when he makes a mistake in pencil, he taps the pencil. After working with art programs for a while, I sometimes attempt CTRL-Z while drawing traditionally. Blew on my ice cream to cool it down. I do that too. Ice cream is way too cold. Blowing on it warms it up, since my breath is warmer than the ice cream. Went to the washroom at work, was using the urinal, when I suddenly realized that I don't normally see myself in the mirror while peeing. Suddenly realized I was pissing in the sink. I once misplaced an important paper for a class. This was the late 80s, and we didn't have a PC, so it was handwritten. I knew I had it when I woke up and was getting ready, but I couldn't find it when I was packing my book bag. I frantically looked, retracing my steps, but no sign of it. I had to give up to get to school on time, but explained to the teacher why I didn't have it ready. I was a pretty good student, so she just told me she'd let me slide for the day and to bring it in the next class. I went straight home from school and searched every damn inch of the house. Behind/under/ in every piece of furniture, every drawer, closet, room, the dirty laundry, behind the toilet, even the trash, like everywhere. No paper. Out of desperation or nearly crying with frustration and despair, and with nowhere else to look, I opened the freezer. I had been in the fridge to get a refreshment or two during my frantic search. There, on one of the shelves, was my goddamn paper. I must have put it there grabbing some ice out of the fridge that morning. To this very day I will look in the freezer for things I have misplaced and just can't seem to find. I have never found another lost item magically sitting in the freezer in over 30 years, but I still look every damn time. I met my district manager for the first time and was very nervous about it. His name is Craig. My name is not Craig. He introduced himself as Craig, and I said hello Craig, I'm also Craig. I was wearing my name tag at the time as well.